Right now, we are going to see about the process of transcription in eukaryotes. First, we have studied transcription, how it occurs in prokaryotes. Now, transcription process in eukaryotes. Eukaryotes, they possess well-defined nucleus, isn't it? So, in the diagrammatic picture of the transcription in eukaryotes, you can see the DNA. This is the transcription bubble, promoter site, transcription bubble, and this is the RNA polymerase, and this is the terminator. For one strand of DNA, one RNA is formed, isn't it? So this is called transcription. In eukaryotes, how it occurs, that we are going to see one by one. So this RNA, it consists of newly formed RNA consists of, that is, coding sequence called exon and non-coding sequence called intron. Clear? Now, newly formed RNA in eukaryotes, it consists of exon and intron. Exon na coding sequence required. Intron means non-coding sequence. Another two important thing, there is a cap. It is called in the 5' 5' methyl guanosine triphosphate. Three phosphates are there. So M means methyl guanosine 3. Triphosphate is attached to the 5' end of the RNA as a cap. And you can see in the 3' end, there is poly A tail is formed. What is poly A tail means? A. Like this. Poly A, many A adenosine, it's attached and they form a tail. Three important events occur. Exon and intron, they are formed. Exon is coding sequence, intron is non-coding sequence, and this intron is non-coding sequence are not required. So they are spliced out, removed. So here this red color is intron. This red color introns are non-coding sequence, they are spliced out, removed. Okay. And what is the cap added in the 5' end? 5' end methyl guanosine triphosphate is added as a cap. Cap Murray. What is a tail? Polyadenylation process, poly A tail is formed. So like this, mRNA is formed. So this we'll see these three steps one by one today in process of transcription in eukaryotes. Okay. Now, first I said in prokaryotes, there is only one RNA polymerase is involved in synthesis of three different mRNA. What are the three RNAs? mRNA, tRNA, what are they? mRNA, messenger RNA, transfer RNA, and ribosomal RNA. Here, in eukaryotes, transcription process, at least three RNA polymerases are involved in this transcription process present inside the nucleus in eukaryotes. So in prokaryotes, only one RNA polymerase can synthesize all the three RNAs. But in eukaryotes, three RNA polymerases are involved. So we'll see about the three RNA polymerase and their function. RNA polymerase 1. What is its function? It can transcribe ribosomal RNA. So here the ribosomal RNA is formed in the ribosomal unit. Okay, ribosomes you studied, which is involved in protein synthesis present in the cell you studied. And it may form the 28S, 18S, and 5.8S. What is this S? Svedberg unit. This is subunit of ribosome. So like this, in the subunit of ribosomes, 28S, 18S, 5.8S. Generally, we call it as S is nothing but Svedberg unit in ribosomes. So, ribosomal RNAs are transcribed with the help of the enzyme RNA polymerase 1. Second one, RNA polymerase 2. It can transcribe heterogeneous nuclear RNA. What is the second one? Heterogeneous nuclear RNA. It's transcribed by the RNA polymerase 2. Now next one, RNA polymerase 3. It can transcribe tRNA transfer RNA, 5 small ribosomal RNA, and small, SN means small nuclear RNA. These are the various RNAs which are transcribed by the enzyme called RNA polymerase 3. So, three RNA polymerase which are involved in transcription in eukaryotes, right? In RNA synthesis. Now already I said about exon, intron, splicing, tailing. We are going to see. First theoretically and picture I'll explain. So this monocystronic structural gene in eukaryotes, and that is a single gene, is responsible for synthesis of single mRNA, monocystronic. Mono means single. Have coding sequence. What is the name for coding sequence? Exons. What is the name for non-coding sequence? Introns. These are formed first. Okay. And in heterogeneous nuclear RNA, this introns are non-coding sequence. So introns are non-coding sequence. They are not required. So they are removed by splicing. Right? After splicing or removal of the introns, what is required? Cap is required, tail is required. So we call it as capping, and tailing is the next process. What is the cap I said? Addition of in the methyl guanosine triphosphate at the 5' end as a cap. What is tailing? Polyadenylation process. A, like this poly A is added is called tailing. So these are the important steps which occur in the transcription process we are going to see now. Okay. First I said, so what is the first one I said? The exons are the coding sequence. Introns are the non-coding sequence, right? And these addition, this is a newly formed RNA. And this exon and introns are alternatively placed in the newly formed mRNA. Now, these introns or non-coding sequence are not needed. So, these are removed by the process called RNA splicing. So, splicing என்னப்பா? Removal of intron is called as RNA. What is occurring in the RNA? mRNA splicing. Removal of introns or non-coding sequence, and what is present? Only exons are present. After splicing, the important thing, the capping, here it forms, but actually the capping and tailing will occur. So what is capping? At the 5' end of RNA, methyl guanosine triphosphate get attached. At the 3' end, what is formed here? Polyadenylation process, poly A, like this, adenylation, adenosine attachment, adenine attachment, like tail is formed. So capping and tailing is formed. So after the removal of splicing out of the introns, the ribosomal RNA consists of a cap with 5' end methyl guanosine triphosphate and a tail end which consists of poly A tail. And now you can call this as messenger RNA. It is formed from the particular one strand of DNA. Okay. I said what is capping part? The 5' end of the mRNA, methyl guanosine. M na methyl gene guanosine 3 phosphate. So triphosphate gets attached as a cap. Right? Tailing addition of 200 to 300 adenyl molecules at the 3' end. That's why it's called as green color is called poly A tail. Now after this, first it was heterogeneous nuclear RNA. Now it is called as mRNA because removal of intron, RNA, splicing or removal of intron, cap is formed, tail is formed. Now this heterogeneous nuclear RNA is now called as mRNA. It comes out of the nucleus for what is the next step? Translation. That is RNA is translated into protein. Now clear, Amma? So this is the mRNA with the cap and the tail. Clear? So three important steps in the formation of RNA. This is the transcription bubble. RNA polymerase is attached here. Right? And here the newly formed RNA, heterogeneous nuclear RNA, and which consists of both the exons coding sequence. Red intron is a non-coding sequence. So what is the first step? RNA splicing. Removal of the intron is called as removal of intron. All these are removal or splicing out of intron is called as RNA splicing. After that removal, 5' end methyl guanosine triphosphate add as cap and 3' end polyadenylation process 200 to 300 adenine molecules added. Right? Now DNA is transcribed into heterogeneous nuclear RNA and when it is formation of heterogeneous DNA one strand, what is this called? Heterogeneous nuclear RNA. Splicing. What is splicing? Removal of intron. What is capping? That is in the 5' end, methylguanosine triphosphate is added. And tailing. What is tailing? Poly A adenyl group is added in the 3' end. And now heterogeneous nuclear RNA is converted into messenger RNA. This is the process of transcription which occurs in the which one? In eukaryotes. And one more important concept regarding the split gene concept in eukaryotes and which do not occur in or absent in prokaryotes. What is this? I'll explain. Split gene concept is only seen only in eukaryotes, absent in prokaryotes, and each exon codes for one protein. So I said intron is not needed, that is non-coding sequence, but exon, each exon, it codes for one protein with a particular function. So each exon, it can arrange continuously. What is removed in between? Intron is removed. So automatically the intron or non-coding sequence is flexible and it is removed. And the exon, they arrange one by one, act as domains, and they combine together in many ways to form new genes and new proteins. Because each exon which can code for one protein. So single gene, it can produce many different functional protein. Right? So not a single gene has a capacity to produce or capable to for many different functional protein it can produce. So their exons also in different ways they splice out the introns. So single gene can produce different functional protein. So it leads to different protein formation or we call it as protein diversity that is leads to functional diversity in animal. It leads to functional diversity in animals. So different protein formation from a single gene can produce different functional protein. I said that's why diversity in animals occur. That is very important in evolution. Functional diversity in animal, protein diversity, it leads to functional diversity in animal because that is the basis for evolution of life on earth. You know that in evolution, single cell organism is evolutionally changed into multicellular and then tissue grade and then all the invertebrates once again they are evolutionally changed into vertebrates, chordates, and then on the topmost region now human beings are there. All these evolutionary changes are only based on the many different functional protein formation. And these different functional proteins, and this leads to functional diversity in animals. And because the single gene can produce many different functional proteins, that is the main concept. So introns, they are the non-coding sequence. They are the mobile DNA sequences. In another term, it is more or less similar to transposon. They can splice themselves out. Introns splice out, we have studied. Here also, these transposons or the introns, they splice out themselves out. Or that is the RNA splicing. I said, what is splicing out? This particular introns are spliced out. So we call it a split gene. Splice themselves out of a gene and introduce themselves into a gene leading to horizontal gene transfer. So what is HGT? Horizontal gene transfer. That means these transfer of genes. So they can splice out introns or the mobile DNA sequence. They can splice themselves out and it can introduce into any gene and leading to horizontal gene transfer. So gene can transfer into various organs and this horizontal gene transfer it occurs between genetic lineage of prokaryotes or between the eukaryotes or from prokaryotes to eukaryotes. I said it usually occurs in eukaryotes but absent in prokaryotes. But due to evolutionary variation and mutation changes, it occurs, lineages occur also between the eukaryotes or from the prokaryotes to eukaryotes. This, when the gene transfer occur only, this human horizontal gene transfer, it leads to various genetic lineage and various genetic proteins are formed, and this is believed to have play a major role in the evolution of life on Earth. So different organisms they evolve one by one from the simple organism to the complex organism. Only this evolutionary changes it occurs only because of a single gene can produce different functional protein arranging their exons. They do not occur in same arrangement. They differ in the arrangement and produce different proteins. And splicing out the non-coding sequence of introns. By this, they produce different functional protein. For this, the horizontal gene transfer technique is formed. So prokaryote to eukaryote, eukaryote to prokaryote, like this, the genetic lineage, it results in evolutionary changes in the life on the earth. Yes, is it clear? Yes, thank you.